It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling.
Decorating Christmas cookies for the first time ever. So first things first, it's Christmas and I figured let's wear a hat. So I purchased a ton of materials to do this. I've watched a bunch of videos and I think I am prepared to do this. So let me go get all of the stuff. So we've got an apron, this, ingredients, egg, butter. And these are, I don't know if this is gonna be necessary. Rolly thing, tray, bowl. This. Sugar cookies, toothpicks, food coloring, white sugar crystals. What are these? What are these? Food pens. I also got a black version of this. A bunch of new paintbrushes, which is not necessary for this video. These piping bags, egg whites and stuff. Metallic paint. And then of course, our Christmas cookie cutouts. So this is a ton of stuff. Let's get started first with just making the sugar cookies. Let's put the apron on. Trying to tie it in the back. And now we are ready to make the sugar cookies. So I have this bag. It says you need 1 stick of butter, 1 egg, and then 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I have that too. You don't need to add water into this? That's really, I don't understand that. 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 stick of butter, 1 egg. No water, really? So the first thing I'm gonna do is just melt the butter really quickly. So I've got the butter. Yeah. Always a challenge. Come on. I don't need, oh, okay. All right. And, ooh, there's a hair in here. That's gross. And then we're pouring the butter. Gotta stop clicking the glass together. And then we have an egg. Okay, then we have, why is there hair in this? Okay, this is getting gross. For the cutout cookies, they said to add 3 tablespoons of flour extra. Oh, this is whole wheat flour. I don't know if that's good. Let's get the regular flour. Okay, this, ew, the flour just went in my eye. Ugh. I think I breathed it in too. 3 tablespoons, this is a lot. Was it tablespoons or teaspoons? Oh no. Tablespoons, okay. 2, 3. The reason why I'm being so specific about the directions is because I always mess up the cooking directions by like a small amount. Like something crazy. It's always like one thing. Like you put like one time I mixed up like the sugar and the salt amounts. Bad cookies. One thing, but dramatically wrong and it just ruins the whole thing. So I think I've done this correctly though. Okay, let's mix this. Okay, this isn't looking so bad. Let me show you. Are you seeing that? I guess this is the kind I can put my hands in and like knead, right? No, I don't want to put my hands in it. I think I have to. I think I have to put my hands in it. Okay, well, sprinkle this, rub it around. Ugh. Okay, this is getting in my ponytail and that's starting to get gross. Okay, I need to take this watch off too. This is getting sugar cookies on it as well. Okay. I have my rolling pin. I'm going to put this on it, roll it out. It's like breaking apart when I roll it out. Does it need more flour or less? How thick do I make this? 1/4 of an inch thick. I think that this is fine, right? This is okay. I don't want to make them too thin, but I also don't want to make them too thick, you know? It looks pretty even all around. All right. Okay, so these are the cookie cutters that I have. Christmas tree. We know how this one went last time. Oh my god, what the? Snowman, an angel, a star, and a snowflake. We could do one of each. I guess let's do one of each. Let's do one of each. How much is an inch? I feel like I did a 1/2 inch thickness. Oh no. Yeah, maybe they're too thick. It's like 3/4 of an inch, and they said 1/4 of an inch, and I follow directions, so we're gonna do this over. Trying again. Oh, I love doing that. That's great. Take these out. I still hate this gingerbread man, but we'll keep him. I think his arms are a little, like, they just don't look right. Okay, so I have all the cookies cut out that I think want to go with, and I will decorate probably whichever ones come out the best in the oven. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm now going to be making the icing from scratch because, I don't know, I don't really like royal icing when you buy it in like those packs. I just never think they taste good. So we're gonna try making it from scratch for the first time. I've never done that before, and see if that tastes any better to me. These are the things that I need. And I also have printed out the instructions. Place the egg whites in the bowl. These whisks or oops. Are these whisks or beaters? That's the question. This is not a whisk, but I think it might be a beater. I just bought these egg whites and they're pasteurized, so apparently you can eat this raw. I don't know, it's kind of concerning to me too, but we will try. I feel like I have to do something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Medium speed until frothy. This goes from 1 to 6, so I'm gonna take that as a 3. What does frothy mean? Like milk, like a milkshake? Oh shoot. 3. Okay, now I know what frothy means. This is definitely frothy. It looks like soapy. I think the cookies are done. I'm gonna take those out. Okay, those are not done. I waited 5 to 7 minutes. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I waited 6 minutes. They said 5 to 7 minutes, so I waited 6 minutes and it's not done yet. So that's concerning. So add the confectioner's sugar and beat on a low speed until blended. Increase the speed to medium, low, and beat mixture until it's thick and shiny. What? 1, 2. Just breathed it in and it tasted delicious. 3, 4. Okay, let's mix this on a low speed. It looks like icing. I'm just gonna blend it now for 3 to 5 minutes on a, what speed? What speed? Medium-low speed. Wait, okay, I had to get the cookies and they're tinged with slight sadness. They're slightly burnt, I forgot about them. Darn, I just broke the leg of my gingerbread man. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna put this down. It's getting kind of hot. I don't know if that's correct. Tastes like sugar. Which is like, I guess it would taste like sugar since it's all sugar. Apparently, in my research, I have discovered that there's 2 different kinds of icing that go in these bags. There's a thicker icing that you outline the cookie with, and then there's a thinner icing that you flood the center of the cookie with. So I'm gonna need to separate these into 2 bowls and make one the thinner one by adding extra water. And then I'm gonna need to separate out into all of the colors that I plan on making. The idea is you have one icing that's stiffer, like this, like it will stay up like that, and that's how you know it's the right texture for the outlining of the cookies. And then you have one thinner icing that you water down that is like supposed to be like liquidy. You know, when you pour it, it drips. I think I got it right. I think I got it right.
This is icing. It tastes so good. I like icing. 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 I like icing.
Okay, I've gotten all of my icings together in these piping bags, all with the colors that I need, and we're gonna start decorating the cookies. Okay, we're finally getting to the Christmas cookie decorating part of the video. So I started off with the Christmas tree cookie, just because, I don't know, this is Christmas cookies, so I might as well start with the Christmas tree, you know? Ooh. Oh, that looks so good. I don't even want to know how much icing I actually ate while I was making these cookies the whole day. So I did 3 different Christmas tree cookies, and I started each of them off by outlining them with a thicker green icing. Let that dry for about 2 minutes, and then once that outline has dried, you fill it with what they call a flood icing, which is a thinner, watered down icing. Next, I used a toothpick to even out the icing. I kind of like swirled it around and then just made it fit on all the edges and made sure it wasn't lumpy. You know what? It tastes great with the icing. Wow. Oh my gosh. Delicious. Wow. If you didn't already guess where I'm from based on my accent, you certainly can guess now. We ended up with these 3 Christmas trees. I'm putting some sparkles on the snow patches of this tree, and then I'm adding some bulbs to the tree branches of this one. I also added some tree bark in brown to the bottom parts of the tree, and this is where it gets exciting. You can see right here I'm using a paint, but it's not a real paint. It's a metallic sugar paint. They've finally done it. What? What have they done? The paint. You can eat it. No! Why didn't anyone tell me this existed? My dreams, they've come true. I can finally eat the paint. Heh, yes, you've heard it right. Can I eat this? Yes. Enough said. Okay, we're moving on to the next cookie. This one is a snowman. So to give you some context here, I have two different types of icings. The first icing is a thicker icing that doesn't have as much water and is used to outline the cookie. After the outline icing has hardened, I used a second icing that was very watered down to fill the center of the cookie. Basically, this outline icing serves as like a barricade or like a wall to keep all of the watery icing inside. I also used a toothpick to make sure the flood icing was nice and smooth. So I let that icing harden for about 30 minutes, and then I went back in with an outline icing and did the detail work. What does she got? A carrot nose, two eyes made out of coal, a scarf, and we could not forget about her
knit hat.
She has a beautiful knit hat with some very fine details. And my absolute favorite part of this is the hands. She's just contently holding or hovering her hands over her stomach. She looks very content. Maybe she's a mother-to-be? Who knows? Moving on to the next cookie, it's a heart. So I outlined this kind of badly, but that's okay. You can kind of fix your mistakes with a toothpick a lot of the time. And then I filled it with the flood icing and fixed that up. And my idea for this one was basically, what if, since it's like a winter theme, I thought, let's do some snow on our heart and make it look like drippy, melted snow. Like our hearts are melting for someone or something like that in the snow. Get it? On to the next one! I think we can all agree I've had some bad experiences, to say the least, with gingerbread men in the past couple of weeks. Oh my god! What the? But you know what? Things are looking up here, guys. This one I actually didn't hate as much as I've hated the other ones. So I went with a drippy snow theme. Everything is just melting on this man. What? I gave him some eyes and a mouth, and I gave him some buttons and a little bit of zigzags. Bada bing, bada boom, there he is. He looks like he ate something weird, but we can't all be winners. Up next, we have a nice Christmas bulb. I actually decided to cut the tip of the Christmas bulb off because I wanted to make it into something else, something nicer. Look at this icing. I mean, this has got to be the peak of the video. I mean, this delicious. From high highs to low lows. I think this might actually be one of the worst cookies I did this video. Ugh, we're gonna move on from the delicious icing to the nose. It's a red nose, so I think we can guess it's supposed to be Rudolph, or a Rudolph imposter. I made the face too high, so his antlers look so stupid, and it doesn't look like Rudolph. I'm sorry, this was a fail. Patting his eyes. Good boy. Up next, we have another bulb that I turned into a circle, so I'm filling this with some pink icing, and the idea for this one was to make it look like Santa Claus's outfit, or his, like, belly, I guess? So this is his belt, and he's got, like, a little white and a buckle, and this one was kind of simple, but I actually hate this one, so we're gonna move on. Up next, we've got a classic Christmas star. Huh. Star of wonder, star of night, star of something beauty bright. That is not correct. Did anyone try to see the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction? I tried to see it, and it was like the smallest speck. It was like not even worth it. I feel like it was hyped up to the extreme, and then I looked at it, and it was like I could barely see it. Was it just me? Was it where I was in the world? I don't know. Did anyone see this star as bigger than anything but like the tiniest tiny speck? Up next, we have a tiny, unremarkable snowman, but actually he came out quite cute. I was trying to make him look like Frosty the Snowman, and I think I achieved it. Wow, just googled Frosty, and it's actually very different. Huh. Speaking of Santa Claus... Oh wait, we weren't talking about Santa? Well, now we are. Santa visits my town every single year. They run around with like these like big, like, I don't know, trucks and make lots of noises in the town, and everyone gets really excited and goes outside and sees Santa. So I hear them coming. We're like, what's happening? Santa's here. So we go to run outside, and my mom runs outside and somehow slams my head in the front door. And I'm telling you, I thought I had a concussion. She like almost like knocked me out. I almost fell over. I have like a giant bruise on the side of my head. and I didn't even get to see Santa. My mom didn't mean to do it, but yeah, I got my head slammed in a door trying to see Santa Claus. I don't know how everyone else's Christmas is going. So what I'm saying here is I hope you guys had better experiences with Santa Claus this year than I did. I did have a good Christmas though, and I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. I know that this is being posted a couple days after Christmas, but Merry Christmas if I didn't say it to you guys already. Man, that story took a quick turn of events. It started one place and we just ended up somewhere completely different. So yeah, I made this snowman. It's basically the ugly cousin for the content snowman. It looks like she has braces or something. Up next we have another bulb. This one is also a bulb turned into a circle, and I figured since I already made Rudolph and Santa, it's only right to make an elf. A Santa's elf? Why can I never speak? But I also hate this one, so I think I just hate the circle ones, or I hate the bulbs. Unclear, but that looks horrible to me. The real problem with this for me is that the yellow looks like cheese and the belt is just off-center. Moving on to the one and only bulb that I actually kept the bulb part on top of it. I decided to just make a blue Christmas bulb. I thought surely this one will just be easy, but I made a tragic mistake here. So I filled in like a little white line to do a highlight, and that looked great, and I should have just left this like this, but I decided to use the metallic paint all over it. Putting metallic paint on everything is a mistake in itself, but I also did it too early before the shell had hardened, and I cracked it. Moving on to one I love. Okay, I love the snowflakes. I did 2 snowflakes, and I really like them. I thought they turned out so cute. Okay, so I made this one white. After the first coat of white hardened, I took some light blue detail, and I used that to create some lines. Kind of like made like crosses, like big ones and small ones, and then made like little thingies on the outside. I am really not explaining this well. And I did the same thing for the blue one, except I did the inverse of that. So I did blue for the background and then white for the detail work. After I finished both of the snowflakes in this duo, I took a silver metallic paint and painted the little dots on it, and I just thought this looked super cute together. I don't know, I love snowflakes, I love blue, and I think these were probably one of my favorites. Oh, wait! No, I take it back. These are my favorites. Okay, so I did 2 angels. One of them came out kind of badly, and one of them came out kind of good, and I'll show you both of them. I love the angels! I don't know why, I just really like the white, like, I don't know. Okay, so basically I gave it brown curly hair, and I gave it white wings, and I also gave it a white dress. I really wanted to make sure this one turned out good, because I really like the angels. I don't know why. I just like the shape. I thought it was interesting. Okay, so on the right, you can see I messed up the angel, because I cracked her wing, but I'm putting some metallic paints on the wings, and also on the band. And part of the reason I really liked the angels was because of these arms. I gave it arms and hands, like praying hands. Is that not so cute? Alright guys, it's time for biggest losers, i.e. the ones I hate the most. So I hate the bulb for obvious reasons. It's cracked. I don't like the metal. I hate this one because I cracked its wing, and I also don't like the cheeks I gave it. I hate this one because it doesn't even look like Rudolph. Its nose looks like chewed gum, and I accidentally cracked the cheek right there. But these, oh my goodness, these are my favorite ones that I made. Yes, I have more cookies, actually. After I did this video, I went back with my boyfriend Will and my mom and my sister Alina, and we made more Christmas cookies. So if you want to see those, I'll be posting them on my Instagram. It's _Bellamena. You can follow me there.
Did I mention this was going to be a Christmas-themed DIY? No? Oh, well, it's gonna be Christmas-themed. My sister and I went to the Dollar Tree and bought pretty much everything, and we're waving hello, hi. Up first, I purchased this dollhouse from the toy section of the Dollar Tree. It has several objects and a house. Let's open this bad boy up. I don't know why every time I open a package, it ends up being opened like this. Getting rid of these, because they're useless to me, I'm more interested in the dollhouse. The first step in this makeover process is to remove all of the windows. Everything must go, except for the door. The door would not snap out. I tried. We're gonna keep that in. I'm sanding the house down to make sure paint adheres, and I'm taking out my paints. I'm using a brown color first, And then I'm also taking out a red color. The red color is oh gosh, right in my freshly squeezed paint.
I don't like that at all. Not one bit.
I mixed together some red and brown to create a gingerbread looking color. Why does that look like chocolate? I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not going to eat it. I'm giving this whole house a nice base coat of brown. But not just any brown, the brown of a gingerbread man. The really cool part about this dollhouse and all the dollhouses at the Dollar Tree is that they are snappable. Snappable. What the heck does that mean? Oh, good, I'm glad you asked. Snappable means that all of the pieces snap together. So there are all different dollhouses at the Dollar Tree with all different shapes and sizes, and you can snap them together to create one large dollhouse mansion. And while I'm not particularly excited about creating a dollhouse mansion, I am excited at the idea of creating a Christmas village. Once I had finished painting all of the windows, I snapped them back into their positions, and I took out my decoupage. Decoupage can act exactly like Mod Podge. It just gives your paint a good protective coating. You'll notice I added a ton of decoupage, probably more than I needed. That is because I really wanted to seal the windows and doors in. I also knew that I was taking out my puffy paint and was going to be covering over a lot of that extra decoupage anyway, so I thought it was better to just make sure everything was really sealed tightly together. I started off by using my white puffy paint for the icing on the roof. I guess this is not actually icing, but the idea I was going for was to really make this piece look like it was a gingerbread house that's made out of food. When it comes to decorating gingerbread houses with food, things are never perfect. Icing is the type of thing that never comes out in quite a straight line or exactly the way you want it to, unless you're like a professional baker, which I'm definitely not. I burnt her to a crisp. So what I'm saying is, when it came to using this puffy paint on the gingerbread house, I tried to embrace the natural imperfections that occur when one is creating a gingerbread house. Typically, the walls are falling apart, you've got icing everywhere, things are usually a little bit messy, and that is totally okay and part of the process. To finish up this gingerbread house, I added some red and green details. On the roof, I'm imagining those are red and green Christmas lights. Around the door, we've got a wreath and some greenery. On the bottom, we have some candy canes. Something I'm really excited about for this project is that I can go back to the Dollar Tree, I can buy more houses, and I can create my own Christmas village of gingerbread houses. Once the house has been all prepped with the gingerbread color, it's really easy to add the details, and I think it would be so fun to make more gingerbread houses with my mom and my sister. Up next, we're following along with the gingerbread-themed DIYs I've got going on here. I found some wooden chips from the Dollar Tree that are in the shape of gingerbread men, and I thought these would be so fun to quickly paint and decorate with puffy paint. I really love this DIY because it's so simple. It's just something that's really fun to do. It's easy to do in groups. You can just like easily paint the wood chips ahead of time. In the craft section of the Dollar Tree, they have little tiny tubes of puffy paint. They call it 3D paint there, and you can use those to decorate these wooden chips. This couple I'm creating here is my favorite couple of gingerbread men. I created a blue striped sweater with some ridges in it and a bow, and then I gave the male a bow tie with some extra white decorations around him. I really like his eyes. I made some gingerbread men with some earmuffs on. I gave them some very nervous looking eyebrows, which I always enjoy. And then I took out my magnetic tape. Now, you could have done a lot of things with these wooden chips. You could make them into magnets, you could make them into pins, you could have even made them into Christmas tree ornaments. But I decided to make them into magnets to put on the side of my fridge. What I love about this DIY is that it's just fun across the board for everyone. You could give this to a kid, you could give this to an adult. It's fun to do, it's simple, and it's joyous. Up next, we've got another simple DIY involving cookie cutter. Oh, I'm dropping this. Cookie cutters from the Dollar Tree. There are 6 cookie cutters that come in this, and I have to say, the shapes are really cute. I'm putting these on my cookie tray with some parchment paper below it, and then I'm actually taking out my candles. I have a set of 6 candles, and I'm putting them into my toaster oven and letting them melt. Ignore the crumbs. After they've melted, I'm utilizing the tiny wick that is inside each of these little candles. For some reason, they were magnetic. Unclear what that's about. I'm also using a pot of boiling water to melt down larger candles from the Dollar Tree. And now we're gonna put it all together. So I'm using my melted down candle wax, the wick, and the cookie cutter to create candles that are in the shape of Christmas cookies. I thought this was such a fun idea. I saw it online multiple times, and I really wanted to try it because I thought it looked really simple. And I have to say, it was so easy to do. You'll notice that before I put the cookie cutter down, I did put a layer of candle wax on the paper. Doing this will help make sure your candle doesn't break apart when you go to take it out of the cookie cutter. Notice on the gingerbread man and on the candy cane, I tried layering 2 colors of candles. It didn't turn out as good as I thought it would. I also added some sparkles on top of certain candles just because I thought it looked pretty. Once the candles had hardened, you kind of just snap off the extra candles and slip it out of the cookie cutter. It slips out really easily. The extra pieces of candle break off really cleanly, and I really didn't have any issues with this. Now, I would like to say, as far as practicality goes, I don't think we should actually be lighting these candles on fire. They're more for decorative purposes because if you actually lit them, they would just melt into a puddle of candle wax. But it is fun to display these maybe on a counter or in some kind of Christmas display. Up next, we have a DIY involving a wine glass. This is actually going to turn into a... Wait, we're picking off a sticker that won't come off. I had to take out some rubbing alcohol to remove the remaining sticker residue. Ew. To start off this snow globe candle holder, I outlined the bottom of the wine glass and cut it out to a perfect circle. Or as perfect as I could get it. I'm also taking out some of these figurines. I took a lamppost, a bench, and a wintry man throwing a snowball. Once those figurines had been hot glued, I checked that it fit inside the snow globe. It did. And then I took out my snow. This is actually just glitter that I got from the Dollar Tree, but this glitter is not normal glitter. It's very flat and flaky and really looks like snow. I flipped the wine glass over a bunch of times to make sure I had the right amount of snow. Little man looks like he's in a blizzard. Let's take some of that snow out. Okay, this looks a little better. Once I had a normal amount of snow in my snow globe, I hot glued the oak tag to the rim of the wine glass. When you do this step, do not underestimate the amount of hot glue you need. You need a lot of hot glue to make sure those sparkles are not going to come out when you shake the snow globe. I'm taking out some ribbon that I bought at the Dollar Tree, and I'm tying a bow around the stem of the wine glass. So the top part of this wine glass, or the bottom part, I guess, when we flip it over, is actually going to have a candle on top. And this is what the final candle holder snow globe ended up looking like. So this idea was actually my mom's idea. She found it on Pinterest, and we did it as a group with my sister. My sister Alina and my mom made the other two.
Our clay stays soft until you bake it. Let's get that out. I did take a sculpting class for 2 weeks in college, so these are from that. And we have instructions. You can see right there, we have the cutest thing in the world. I decided, you know what? Let's start off with the instructions. Nice and easy. We have a step-by-step process. We can totally do this and create that cute little popsicle. I found out that clay is very hard, and I slammed it a bunch of times and actually bruised my hand, so that's fun. And yeah, I'm just kind of shaping the clay as best as I know how. I don't know what I'm doing here. And then I'm opening up a tan and creating what looks like a finger, oddly close to my own skin color actually. And then I'm creating a little hole inside the bottom of the popsicle where I can stick its little popsicle stick. Up next we have the chocolate, so I'm gonna be making chocolate drips. I found the brown clay to be even more crumbly and hard. Required a lot of hitting. Oop, got a little crumb right there. I attempted to roll it out with a wooden thing, and then I attempted to cut the nice chocolate drips out and placed it on top of coughing. Oh my gosh! On top of the popsicle. I did have to create basically two seams. Like I wrapped the chocolate around and had a seam in the back as well as a seam on top of the popsicle. And then I had to massage that head together, I guess. What am I saying?
Time for sprinkles.
I rolled out tiny individual little balls of many different colors. And then I placed the sprinkles all over the chocolate, and I think this brought everything together. It looks really cool. Heh. Here we've got the cheeks that I put on the little popsicle man. That's totally what we're calling him from now on. I almost forgot he needed that little hole so that he could hang on the tree. And we're going in the oven. I almost feel bad for him. 20 minutes or 30 minutes at 120? 320? Science. And now I'm putting the eyes on, which really brought everything together. I love the way this face came out. It's so cute! Last step in this equation is the glossy glaze. Ugh, this was the best part. Look, it just looks delicious. I could eat it. Ugh. So this is how the first ornament turned out. I know I was following some instructions, so I'm going to make up my own original design in the next one, but I love this one. It's so cute. For my next ornament, I mushed together some white and brown. I really gotta come up with better adjectives than mush and massage. I don't know. Let's bring in the colors we'll be working with for this ornament. I don't know if this is typical for colored clay, but the colors were getting all over my hands, and I had to keep cleaning it up with a baby wipe. Anyway, we are making a cookie. An M&M cookie. I made 2 marks roughly where I wanted the eyes to go, so that I wouldn't put an M&M in the wrong spot, like over the eye or something. And once I got the M&Ms all on the cookie, I then put a little hook on top of it and put it into the oven to bake. After our M&M cookie was all hardened from the baking process, I added his eyes and his mouth and his eyebrows. He's so cute. And then I had to add the M's, and this is where tragedy strucketh us, minorly. I used this like dotting tool to create the M at first, but then I took out this smaller, thinner tool that came with my clay tools, and I created the M's better. I realized I was doing the M's wrong, like the M&M M's have to be like a lowercase one, I was doing an uppercase, so I had to go over everything and fix it, dried that off, and then flipped it over into the back. Overall, I think this turned out pretty good. I didn't really like the way I did the M's, kind of, but I mean, he's pretty cute. There he is in the tree. Before we do the next 3 ornaments, I'm gonna do the shout-outs. Lily, Michaela, Rhea, Maria, Molly, Phil, Reaper Queen, Haley, who's also Cherry Blossom, Shira, Ina, Livia's World, and Danielle. Hi guys! Since we've already done 2 dessert ornaments, I feel like it's only fair to follow this through and do some more dessert ornaments. So this concept is something I've thought of for a while, actually, and I think that other people have probably done this before, too. Hear me out. We have an ice cream cone, and the ice cream scoop is an octopus. Huh. So it's like an octo cone. Not very appetizing, but I think it might turn out cute. Maybe. Here I'm rolling out the chocolate sauce, or at least attempting to. And then I'm cutting out the chocolate sauce that will go right on top of his octopus head. A perfect fit. You know what I just realized? This could also be like, what is it called? Ink. Pat, 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 pat that down. And then we're gonna move on to the cone. Trying to form that into a cone shape and then put it on the octopus. It's way too large for its head. I had to kind of size it down. I also added some divots or creases to make the cone look like it was a cone. Added some pink cheeks. I felt like he was missing something. That was actually kind of scary. So I added some sprinkles into the chocolate sauce, and I felt like that brought everything together. And this is what he looked like before he went into the oven to bake. Out of the oven, and this is where tragedy actually strucketh us with the face. So I was going for a sad face, but this ended up getting messed up. I gave his mouth a good smear. And then I tried to fix it, and it looked weird. And then I tried to add, like, eyelashes and an eyebrows, and a sprinkle fell off. And then, I don't know, I kept trying to fix it and it kept getting worse and worse. What did they do to you? He's a very sad boy. Because he's falling out of his ice cream cone. You know, he's being dumped from his cone and into our hearts. Aww. See what I did there? He looks like he's crying, we'll be honest, but I think he's pretty cute. Man, I love that noise. Moving on to the fourth ornament of this video. So this one, I did depart from the dessert theme for a second because I wanted to do something
very near and dear to my heart.
So this is a box, as you can see, and this is a head and some arms, and I am really creating a cat in a box because, I don't know, I like cats, and I wanted to make a cat in a box ornament. I don't have anything else to say other than that. I think that's the best explanation I can come up with. I think this one turned out pretty cute. It was somewhat difficult to make, honestly, because there were so many different pieces, and I thought it was turning out really badly, but I think it actually turned out pretty cute at the end. So I have the ribbon going around it. I added a big bow at the top, and then I added some sprinkles around the box, and then I put this guy in the oven. Out of the oven, and I just added the face to the cat, and then I added a glossy, oh my gosh, so cute. I added a glossy layer, and this is what it looked like at the end. I really love this one. I think I'm actually going to give this one to Will for Christmas, because he likes cats. The only thing I'll say is I don't really like the white dots, but that's okay. Moving on to the gingerbread man. This one I really did not like. Out of all the ornaments, I hate the gingerbread man. I just think I did such a bad job on it, and I was trying so hard. Two options. This is either a gingerbread man for a clown, or a gingerbread man for a baby shower. You know what? Actually, in hindsight, looking at this with the polka dots all over this, it's definitely looking like a clown. A little. The mouth is... Those eyes! So scary. Oh my god! What the... The eyes are just, how do I put it? They're terrifying. That's what it is. Yes. I did change the eyes to white. Do I think that fixed anything? No. No. Throw the whole man away. Anyway, he went into the oven, and this is what he looked like when he came out. I gave him a little bit of eyes right there. I don't know, gave him a glossy layer, and this is his final look. Let me know if you guys like this one. I personally hate it. I hate it. Moving on to the last ornament I did, which is actually one of my absolute favorites. It's pretty simple, honestly, but I thought it turned out so cute. So I made that is the bottom of the donut, and then I have some strawberry frosting, which is actually my favorite kind of frosting to put on a donut. That's why I chose pink. And I cut out the little hole, added some sprinkles. Super cute. And I made them like light blue sprinkles and a little bit of like light yellow pastels. I put little cheeks and I threw that guy in the oven for 30 minutes. And then we added some eyes and a mouth, eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes. Okay, sorry. Here's the final result of the donut. And here they are all together. I actually had a lot of fun doing this video. I'm surprised because I usually have such a hard time with clay, and I did have kind of a hard time, but I actually had a lot of fun. And I found myself wanting to make more and more ornaments, so I think I might actually just make some more, like for myself, and maybe post them on my Instagram, just because I love these so much. They're so cute, and I think they'd make great gifts for Christmas, you know?